In 1880, Boston, a chimney sweep walked the same 100 streets every spring and every fall. He cleaned chimneys for 5 cents apiece, and he cleaned 100 chimneys in a single day. By the time he was 40 years old, he did not have a chimney sweep job anymore. He had a route. He owned the customer list, the schedule, the relationships. When he was 60, he handed that route to his son. His son handed it to his grandson. 3 generations of quiet wealth from work everyone else thought was beneath them. The chimneys are gone now. Coal heating is dead. But the recurring route math is not dead. Not even a little bit. Driveways still need pressure washing. Gutters still need clearing. Dryer vents still catch fire after 18 months of lint. A $500 pressure washer and one Tuesday afternoon in the right neighborhood can earn what a corporate cubicle pays in a whole week. Same math, different specialty, different century. That is number 1 of 17 forgotten methods Americans have quietly used to build real wealth for over 100 years. By the end of this video, you will see all 17, and the version of each that still works in 2026. Let us start. Number 1. The chimney sweep and his modern grandchild, the pressure washing route. By the 1890s, master sweeps in Philadelphia were charging 25 to 50 cents per flue. An operator with 4 apprentices could clear 30 to 50 chimneys a week and earn the equivalent of a craftsman's full year in a single good season. They diversified into ash hauling and kindling delivery. They were running, in everything but name, the first home services bundle in America. Why did it work? Every heated home was a recurring customer locked in by necessity. You could not skip a chimney cleaning any more than you could skip eating. Startup was almost nothing. Brushes, rope, tarpaulins. No license, no degree, no bank loan. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is the exterior cleaning route. Pressure washing for driveways and parking lots. Gutter cleaning in the fall. Dryer vent cleaning in the spring. Every homeowner has dirt. Every commercial property has a parking lot. Every dryer vent becomes a fire hazard after 18 months. The 3-service bundle gives a solo operator year-round cash flow. A solo startup is roughly $3,000 to $5,000. A commercial pressure washer, a surface cleaner, hoses, and the first year of insurance. Solo operators on residential routes could earn $4,000 to $8,000 a month. Operators with commercial apartment and fleet contracts report $10,000 to $20,000 a month, depending on local market density. The named operator carrying this torch today is Aaron Lacey of the King of Pressure Wash community. The pressure washing industry hit $1.2 billion in 2024, and most of it is still run by solo guys with no website. Anyone with a professional system out competes 80% of the market on day 1. Number 2. The boarding house and her modern grandchild, the room rental. The American boarding house was the dominant form of affordable urban housing from 1840 through 1930. By 1900, 1 in 3 urban Americans either ran or lived in one. The pattern was almost always the same. A widowed or single woman in Pittsburgh, Cleveland, or Brooklyn, with a large family home and steelworkers who needed a furnished room near the mill. $2 or $3 a week per boarder. A 12-room operator could clear $24 to $36 a week, roughly double what her own boarders were earning. Why did it work? Labor was mobile and single. The operator was already cooking and heating the house, so each extra room was almost pure margin. No bank financing required. A woman with a big house could hang her sign Monday and have income by Friday. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is PadSplit. It is the boarding house with a digital lock and a background check. Founded in Atlanta, PadSplit converts single-family homes into 4 to 8-room co-living properties rented by the week to working adults. Same demographic as 1900, now called the workforce housing market. The platform handles screening, digital rent, and dispute resolution for a fee. For the higher income version, Furnished Finder targets traveling nurses and remote workers on 1 to 3 month stays, and a single furnished room could earn $1,800 to $3,500 a month. If you already own the home, $2,000 to $5,000 per room covers furniture and locks. Operators report $175 to $250 per room per week. A 4-room property could gross $2,800 to $4,000 a month. 3 properties, 18 rooms. Operators report $70,000 to $120,000 a year. The named operator is Kat Langevin at Beyond Just Numbers, who runs a 6-room PadSplit and publicly documents her cash flow. PadSplit claims hosts earn roughly twice the income of a traditional rental on the same property. Exact same math that made the 1890 boarding house widow more profitable than her neighbor. Number 3. The Egg Lady and her modern grandchild, the pasture egg microfarm. From the 1880s through the 1950s, virtually every rural American family with land kept chickens, and the woman of the household was universally called the Egg Lady. A flock of 50 hens generated $1.50 to $2.50 a week in surplus egg sales. The 1935 USDA census documented over 5 million American farms with laying flocks, almost all run by women as a household side income. Why did it work? Chickens converted kitchen scraps into protein, pennies of startup. Every household needed eggs. No seasonality, no off month. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is the pasture-raised egg microfarm. 1 to 5 acres. 1 to 500 hens. Eggs sold at $7 to $12 a dozen direct at farmers markets or through CSA boxes. The differentiator is the label. Pasture-raised. USDA certified humane. The right Instagram photo of the mobile coop in green grass. Those labels command 3 to 5 times the price of a supermarket egg from the exact same hen. A 50-hen backyard flock is $1,500 to $3,000. A 200-hen operation with mobile coops is $8,000 to $15,000. A 200-hen operator at $8 a dozen could gross $2,400 to $3,200 a month. A 500-hen operation could gross $40,000 to $80,000 a year. The named operator is Joel Salatin at Polyface Farm. He scaled the model to a national reputation by writing about it and proving the math. The 2025 Signal stat. Pasture-raised eggs average $7.37 a dozen versus conventional at $2.70. Same hen, 2.7 times more profitable. Number 4. The carriage house and its modern grandchild, the ADU. From 1850 through 1920, upper-middle-class American homes routinely had a detached carriage house behind the main building. When the automobile killed the horse around 1915, the smartest owners did not tear those buildings down. They finished the interiors and rented them. Chicago records show carriage house conversions renting for $8 to $12 a month by 1918. Why did it work? The structure was sunk cost. Already built, already insured, already connected to utilities. Converting it took only interior finishing. Zero land cost. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is the ADU, the accessory dwelling unit, casita, granny flat. California legalized them statewide in 2020. Texas, Oregon, Colorado followed. More than 30 states have passed ADU-friendly legislation. Garage conversions are the cheapest path in. New detached units are the bigger play. A garage conversion runs $30,000 to $60,000. A new detached ADU is $80,000 to $200,000 depending on region. The unit could earn $1,200 to $2,500 a month furnished. Operators report $15,000 to $30,000 a year net after mortgage offset. The named operator is Villa Homes, a turnkey ADU company that designs, permits, and builds the unit end-to-end. There are roughly 40 million single-family lots in the U.S. eligible for ADU construction, and fewer than 1% are currently developed. The carriage house renaissance has barely started. Number 5. The boarding stable and its modern grandchild, self-storage. The boarding stable was the 19th century's parking garage. From 1850 to 1910, urban livery stables in every American city charged $8 to $20 a month per horse. New York City alone had an estimated 120,000 horses in 1880. When the automobile arrived, the adaptive stable owners converted to garages and parking lots, captured the new demand with the same real estate, and kept collecting rent. Why did it work? People needed their transportation asset close by and had no space at home. The land appreciated. A single stable hand could manage 30 to 50 horses. Once built, it ran on almost no labor. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is self-storage. It is one of the most recession-resistant asset classes in American real estate. For the small investor, Neighbor.com is the peer-to-peer version. You rent your garage, your driveway, your spare basement to a neighbor for boat, RV, or equipment storage. Covered boat storage in the Sun Belt commands $150 to $300 a month. Neighbor.com is zero startup if you have a spare slab. Operators report $100 to $400 a month per parking spot. A 20-unit RV lot is $50 to $150,000 in land, gravel, and fencing. A 100-unit self-storage facility in a secondary market, stabilized, reports $20 to $30,000 a month in revenue. Net margins 40 to 60%. The named operator is Frank Rolfe, who has publicly documented self-storage economics in small markets. The industry generates over $44 billion in annual U.S. revenue. The RV storage subsegment is growing 6 to 8% a year. Same idea as the stable owner. Number 6, the itinerant trade and its modern grandchild, the mobile service van. The itinerant tradesman was a fixture of American life from colonial times through the early 20th century. The knife sharpener, the tinker, the scissors grinder, the umbrella mender, the chair caner. Each carried his entire workshop on a horse-drawn cart, brought the service directly to the customer's door, and had zero storefront overhead. By the 1890s, an itinerant knife sharpener in Boston could earn $8 to $12 a week, above the median industrial wage. Why did it work? The model solved the customer's convenience problem. Instead of dragging your dull knives to a shop, the shop came to you. Low overhead, mobility, specialized skill. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is the mobile service van, mobile dog grooming, mobile auto detailing, mobile car repair, a single Sprinter or Transit outfitted as a grooming salon. Water tank, tub, dryer, table. Could serve 6 to 10 dogs a day at $75 to $150 a groom. All booked through an app. The owner pays a 30 to 50% premium for the convenience. A used van plus a grooming build-out is $15,000 to $40,000. Mobile auto detailing with basic equipment is $3,000 to $8,000. Solo van operators could earn $4,000 to $10,000 a month. A two-van operation reports $100,000 to $180,000 a year gross. The named operator is ScentHound, a franchise built on the express grooming model. Aussie Pet Mobile runs the van route version at national scale. The U.S. pet grooming industry exceeded $12 billion in 2024. The cart became a van. The cobblestones became a driveway. The math has not moved an inch. Stop for 1 second. Look at the first 6. A chimney sweep, a boarding house, an egg lady, a carriage house, a horse stable, a blacksmith with a wagon. What do they share? Every single one is built on a basic human need that nobody likes to admit needing. Shelter, food, space to put your stuff, things that have to be cleaned, fixed, or hauled. None of them are sexy, none of them are trendy, none of them are on a podcast about disruption. They are all the same answer to the same quiet question. What does my neighbor want? And can I be the person who gives it to them? Hold that thought. Number 7. The tax sale hunter and his modern grandchild, the tax lien certificate. Tax sale investing is as old as American property law. In the 1800s, county governments auctioned delinquent tax properties publicly, and a small class of tax titlemen attended these auctions systematically, especially in fast-growing Midwest states like Ohio, Illinois, and Indiana. By the 1890s, documented Chicago tax deed buyers were picking up properties for $50 to $200 in back taxes and reselling them for $500 to $2,000. Why did it work? Owners fell behind during downturns. The tax sale hunter provided liquidity to the government and acquired real estate at below market prices in exchange. Public auction, statutory interest rates, a regulated business, not a speculative gamble. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is the tax lien certificate. Liens are still sold at county auctions across 29 states. The investor pays the delinquent taxes and earns a state-set interest rate of 8 to 36% annually. If the owner does not redeem within 6 months to 3 years, the investor can foreclose. About 98% of owners redeem before foreclosure. For most investors, this is a pure high-yield interest play with real estate as the security, not a property acquisition strategy. Minimum entry is $500 to $2,000 at a small county auction. A solo operator with $50,000 deployed could earn $4,000 to $18,000 a year in interest, depending on rates and redemption timing. The named operator is Mark Podolsky, known as the Land Geek. The sweet spot in 2026 is small rural counties under 50,000 population because institutional funds rarely show up there, leaving double-digit rates available to the patient individual. Same trade as the 1890 tax title man. The auctioneer just moved online. Number 8. The coin-op empire and its modern grandchild, the ATM route. The coin-operated machine empire began in 1888, when Thomas Adams installed the first vending machines in New York City subway stations. By 1910, coin-op laundry machines, weighing machines, shoe-shining machines, and jukeboxes had filled every urban commercial space. Operators who placed 10 or 20 machines on revenue, share contracts with saloons and hotels, built passive income streams that needed only a weekly cash collection route. A documented 1920 Chicago jukebox operator could net $200 to $400 a week from 30 machines. Why did it work? The machine worked 24 hours. The operator visited once a week. Adding machines was purely additive. The capital cost per unit paid itself off in weeks at a busy location. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is the ATM route. A single ATM at a bar, a laundromat, or a convenience store costs $2,500 to $8,000 to install and earns a surcharge on every transaction. At 150 transactions a month at $3 each, that nets roughly $350 a month per machine. High traffic locations clear $750 plus. Claw machines are the sleeper version. Operators placing 1 to 3 in laundromats report $300 to $800 a month per machine with almost no maintenance. A single ATM is $2,500 to $8,000. A route of 10 ATMs is $25,000 to $80,000. Operators report $200 to $750 net per machine per month. A vending route of 20 machines could earn $2,000 to $6,000 a month net. William Butterton, profiled in Business Insider in March, operates 5 ATMs and 3 vending machines and clears around $1,500 a month combined. Same exact math as the 1920 Chicago jukebox route. Visit once a week, refill the cash, move on. Number 9. The land speculator and his modern grandchild, the rural land flipper. American land speculation is the oldest wealth-building activity in the nation's history. The original speculators were the founding fathers themselves. George Washington's land holdings in the West totaled over 30,000 acres, acquired between 1770 and 1790. Benjamin Franklin and Patrick Henry held large positions in the Ohio Valley. By the 1840s railroad era, professional speculators in Chicago, Kansas City, and Denver were making fortunes buying land along announced rail lines years before the tracks were laid. Why did it work? Population was moving west at a predictable pace. Land was finite. Capital was scarce. Information asymmetry was enormous. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is rural raw land flipping. The flipper buys unwanted rural parcels from heirs or tax-delinquent owners for pennies on the dollar, then resells on owner-financed terms to buyers who find the land through digital listing platforms like Land.com and LandWatch. The buyer pays a small down and a monthly note for 3 to 10 years, and the flipper collects a steady stream of payments rather than one lump sum. Minimum entry is $500 to $2,000 for the first parcel. Operators report $2,000 to $8,000 profit per parcel on owner-financed flips. A portfolio of 10 active notes could earn $2,000 to $5,000 a month in passive note payments. Scaled to 40 or 50 notes, operators report $50,000 to $150,000 a year. The named operator is Mark Podolsky again, who is documented buying tax-delinquent lots for $300 to $1,000 and reselling for $3,000 to $12,000 on owner financing. Raw land remains the one real estate category where you can still legally buy below assessed value in 2026. The supply of motivated sellers is structural, not cyclical. Number 10. The telegraph pole lease, and its modern grandchild, the cell tower lease. From the 1840s through the 1880s, Western Union and its competitors paid American landowners small annual fees, typically $5 to $15 per pole, to run telegraph lines across private land. A farmer along a transcontinental route, with 20 or 30 poles crossing his property, could receive $100 to $300 a year. Real money when a working-class wage was $400 a year. Pure passive income. Western Union installed and maintained the poles. The farmer cashed the check. Why did it work? Communication infrastructure had to be geographically distributed. Any farmer along the right-of-way held a small monopoly on his specific strip of dirt. That gave even a modest landowner real negotiating leverage. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is the cell tower land lease. It is structurally identical. Verizon, T-Mobile, and tower companies like American Tower, Crown Castle, and SBA Communications lease small parcels, usually 1,500 to 2,500 square feet, from landowners to host cell equipment. Monthly rent runs $1,000 to $15,000 depending on location and number of carriers sharing the tower. The average cell tower lease pays around $45,000 a year to the landowner. Landowner cost to participate is zero. Carriers pay the entire build. Annual income could earn $12,000 to $180,000 depending on location and carriers. Over a 25-year lease with a 3% annual escalator clause, lifetime value could exceed $1.5 million per tower. The named operators are Tower Leases and Tower Genius, both of which advise landowners on lease structures. The 2026 runway is 5G densification, which is driving new tower builds and small cell installations on building rooftops and parking decks. Same setup as the 1870 telegraph farmer. The pole became a tower. The check still arrives. Number 11. The sawmill and its modern grandchild, the specialty fabrication shop. The small sawmill was the engine of American frontier settlement from 1800 through the 1920s. Every town of any size had one. Robert McCormick, the father of the famous Cyrus McCormick of Mechanical Reaper fame, operated a sawmill and a grist mill in Virginia's Shenandoah Valley in the early 1800s. Small mill owners in the 1870s, Pacific Northwest built multi-generational wealth by combining timber rights with milling capacity. Why did it work? The mill owner held a capital-intensive machine the whole community needed, but no one farmer could afford. Local monopoly on processing. The toll milling model required zero cash from the customer, which removed price barriers. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is the specialty fabrication shop. CNC routing, laser cutting, welding, powder coating. A single CNC plasma table for $15,000 to $30,000 turns a garage into a microfactory capable of producing custom metal parts, signage, architectural elements, and furniture components. A skilled solo operator could generate $8,000 to $15,000 a month. A CNC plasma setup runs $15,000 to $40,000, including software and exhaust. A small powder coating shop is $5,000 to $20,000. A solo CNC operator could earn $5,000 to $15,000 a month on custom contracts. A two-operator shop reports $150,000 to $400,000 gross a year. The named operator is Blackbeard Projects on YouTube, a one-man custom metal fabrication shop documenting six-figure revenue from his garage. SendCut. Send is the larger national model. The U.S. custom fabrication industry generates over $45 billion a year, and 97% of those businesses are small shops with under 20 employees. A skilled solo with modern CNC equipment competes on day one. The reshoring of American manufacturing is adding new demand that did not exist at this scale in 2019. Halfway through, 11 down, 6 to go. You have heard real estate, boarding houses, ADUs, storage. You have heard services, Sweeping, detailing, the sharpener. You have heard passive assets, tax liens, ATMs, raw land, cell towers, the sawmill. Here is the thread under all of it. Every single one is about owning, not earning, not working. Owning. The boarding house owner does not take orders from a boss. The boss is the building. The pressure washing route owner does not get fired from a route. He owns the schedule. The cell tower leaseholder does not have a salary. He has the dirt. That is the lever. The quietly rich do not work harder. They own the small, specific, boring thing that pays them every single month whether they show up or not. Number 12. Number 12. The soap maker and her modern grandchild, the artisan soap brand. Commercial soap making in America dates to the colonial era, but the first branded soap empire was Procter & Gamble, founded in Cincinnati in 1837 by William Procter the candle maker and James Gamble the soap maker. Both were immigrants. They pooled roughly $3,600 in startup capital. Their insight was simple. Soap was a daily use commodity with recurring demand, and branding could differentiate an otherwise identical product. By 1860, they were doing $1 million a year. Before P&G consolidated the market, thousands of small regional soap makers operated profitably out of farmhouse kitchens. Why did it work? Soap was a non-negotiable daily product with no substitutes. Inputs were cheap. Lye, tallow, ash, all available everywhere. Differentiation through scent, color, and packaging created perceived value far above raw material cost. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is the modern artisan soap brand. The named operator is Dr. Squatch, founded by Jack Haldrup in a garage in 2013. By 2021, he had grown the brand to over $100 million in annual revenue and was acquired by private equity for a reported $255 million. He used direct-to-consumer digital marketing targeting men who said they did not want chemicals on their skin. The exact same business model as the 1837 soap maker. A daily use product, differentiated branding, consistent customer acquisition. A minimum home-based startup is $500 to $2,000 in oils, lye, molds, fragrance, and packaging. A direct-to-consumer e-commerce build-out is $5,000 to $20,000, including Shopify, photography, and initial ad spend. Solo makers on Etsy and Faire could earn $2,000 to $6,000 a month. Scaled DTC brands report $200,000 to $2 million plus per year with a paid acquisition strategy. Every niche demographic is an addressable soap audience that big brands ignore. Hunters, athletes, parents of children with sensitive skin, beard care enthusiasts. Each of them is a Dr. Squatch waiting to happen. Same kitchen, same lye, different audience. Number 13. The Apothecary and his modern grandchild, the niche supplement brand. The Apothecary was the most trusted professional in pre-Civil War American communities. From the 1700s through the 1880s, every town had one. The apothecary compounded custom remedies from raw botanical and chemical ingredients, sold patent medicines, and provided basic medical advice. John Uri Lloyd of Cincinnati built Lloyd Brothers Pharmacists into a nationally distributed botanical medicine company by the 1880s. A successful apothecary in an 1870 county seat could earn $1,500 to $3,000 a year, solidly upper middle class. Why did it work? The apothecary held information and formulation advantages the customer could not replicate. Trust was the primary business asset built over decades in the same community. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is the niche supplement brand. The compound pharmacy is the direct legal heir, a $10 billion industry the chain pharmacies barely touch. For the entrepreneur, the cleaner play is the white label niche supplement brand. Pick a defined audience. Curate or formulate a specific stack. Build authority through email, podcast, or social. Sell direct. The category leader pattern is AG1, Momentous, and Thorn. Each is the apothecary model scaled, with the customer relationship now mediated through a creator endorsement. A white label brand minimum is 5 to 20,000 in minimum order quantities from a co-packer, plus label design and a Shopify store. Acquiring an established compound pharmacy is 150 to 500,000. Early-stage brands with a focused niche and real email list could earn 3 to 10,000 a month. Scaled brands report 500,000 to 5 million plus a year. The U.S. dietary supplement market exceeded $60 billion in 2024. The top 20 brands control less than 30% of sales, which leaves enormous room for the niche operator. A current open lane in 2026 is the GLP-1 support category. Muscle retention, nutrient repletion, gut support for Ozempic users. The customer just appeared. Almost no one is talking to her yet. Number 14. The watch repairman and his modern grandchild, the vintage Rolex specialist. The watchmaker repairman was one of the most respected tradesmen in 19th century America. Every family with means owned a pocket watch, and mechanical timepieces needed regular cleaning. Watchmaking schools in Waltham, Massachusetts, and Elgin, Illinois, trained thousands of craftsmen from the 1860s onward. A skilled watchmaker in an 1890 Midwest city could charge 50 cents to $2 per repair and earn $600 to $900 a year, above the median wage. Why did it work? Mechanical watches were expensive and irreplaceable. A good pocket watch cost a month's wages. Repair was always cheaper than replacement. The skilled watchmaker faced no mass-market competition. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is vintage luxury watch servicing. Rolex, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, Omega. These watches are worth 5,000 to 500,000 each, and they require service every 5 to 7 years. Factory service through Rolex costs $800 to $1,500 and takes 6 to 8 weeks. An independent certified watchmaker charges $300 to $700 and turns the work in 1 to 3 weeks. The customer is happy to skip the factory queue. Training through the American Watchmakers Clockmakers Institute, known as AWCI, runs $15,000 to $40,000 in tuition and tools. A fully equipped bench is another $10,000 to $30,000. A solo specialist could earn $6,000 to $12,000 a month servicing luxury watches exclusively. The global pre-owned luxury watch market exceeded $22 billion in 2023. Every one of those watches needs service. There are fewer than 3,500 AWCI certified watchmakers currently practicing in the US, and the average member is over 55 years old. The supply-demand gap is enormous. Same niche the 1890 pocket watch repairman owned. Rare skill, high-value object, recurring need. Number 15. The junk dealer and his modern grandchild, the estate sale reseller. The junk dealer, sometimes called the rag and bone man, was a fixture of American urban life from 1840 through 1930. He ran a horse-drawn cart through dense immigrant neighborhoods, collected rags, metal, glass, and bones, and sold them to industrial processors. Junk king businesses operated in every major American city. In New York City's Lower East Side, Jewish immigrant families built multi-generational scrap metal businesses from these origins. Individual junk dealers in 1890. Chicago earned $5 to $15 a week, enough to feed a family, and for the ambitious, enough to graduate into scrapyard ownership. Why did it work? Industrial America produced enormous waste streams, metal offcuts, textile scraps, glass for recycling. All of it had real market value to processors but was too dispersed for large operators to collect efficiently. The junk dealer was the micro-aggregator. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is estate sale reselling, and the platform that turned it from grandma's hobby into a real business is Whatnot. Buy items at estate sales, thrift stores, and local auctions for $500 to $200. Resell on eBay, Etsy, Facebook Marketplace, or live on Whatnot in front of an audience of category buyers. Whatnot's live format enables real-time price discovery and community building that eBay auctions cannot replicate. Minimum entry with estate sales and eBay or Whatnot is $200 to $500 in initial buying budget. Solo resellers could earn $2,000 to $8,000 a month. Whatnot show hosts with a built audience report 50 to 150,000 plus a year from consistent live selling. The named operators are Rob and Melissa Stevenson of Flea Market Flipper, who document a six-figure reselling business. Whatnot processed over $1 billion in gross merchandise value in 2023, growing from zero in 2020. The fastest-growing resale platform in U.S. history is the digital reincarnation of the 1890 auction house. Number 16. The Cobbler and his modern grandchild, the premium shoe repair shop. The Cobbler was one of the most universally present small business operators in American history. Every town of 500 people had at least one. From the 1800s through World War II, shoe repair was an economic necessity. Good leather shoes cost a week's wages. Resoling them for 25 to 50 cents extended their life by years. The Shoe Service Institute of America estimated over 100,000 operating cobblers in the United States in 1930. Why did it work? Shoes were capital goods, not consumables. In an era before fast fashion, a quality shoe represented a real investment. Repair always penciled out. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is premium shoe repair, specifically Vibram sole replacement on high-end boots and dress shoes. A Vibram sole on a pair of Red Wing boots or Allen Edmonds dress shoes costs $80 to $150 at a skilled cobbler and extends the shoe's life by 5 to 10 years. The Cobblers and new shoe are the male in national versions of the model. Ship your shoes, get them back repaired. Each processes thousands of pairs a month. A traditional cobbler shop setup is $10,000 to $30,000 for the stitcher, the skiver, the finisher, and inventory. A mail and online cobbler startup is $5,000 to $15,000. Solo operators could earn $4,000 to $9,000 a month. Established shops report $60,000 to $120,000 a year gross. The U.S. shoe repair industry is served by fewer than 7,000 operating shops in 2024, down from over 100,000 in 1930. The trade is dying faster than the demand is shrinking. The premium footwear market, Red Wing, Alden, Allen Edmonds, Goodyear welted boots, is growing, and the buyer is specifically motivated to repair rather than replace. One more, 16 down. You probably noticed something about the last 6 items: soap, apothecary, watch repair, junk dealer, cobbler. They all require something the first 10 did not: a specialization, a skill that takes a year, maybe 3, to learn. That is the third lever. The first lever is owning, the second is recurring. The third is being the only person in your zip code who knows how to do the thing. Most people pick 0 of the 3. The quietly comfortable pick 1. The quietly wealthy pick all 3. Number 17. And you can start it this weekend. Number 17. The beekeeper and his modern grandchild, the urban apiary. Beekeeping for honey production has been practiced since the earliest European settlements in America, but the commercial era truly began in 1851. Lorenzo Langstroth of Philadelphia, a depressive Congregationalist minister, patented the movable frame hive that year, and his design is still used by virtually every beekeeper in the world today. Langstroth discovered the mathematical bee space, the 3/8 of an inch gap that bees neither fill with comb nor seal with propolis, entirely through observation. By the 1880s, commercial apiary operations of 200 to 500 hives were running across New York State, Ohio, and California. A commercial beekeeper with 300 hives in 1890 New York could harvest 30,000 to 45,000 pounds of honey a year, generating $2,400 to $5,400 annually. A successful physician's income in that era. Why did it work? Honey was the primary sweetener in most American households before refined sugar became cheap. In the 1890s, demand was year-round. Bees foraged freely, so they cost almost nothing to feed. The hive, once established, was a self-running asset producing 2 monetizable goods: honey and beeswax. Here is why this is not dead, just renamed. The 2026 version is the urban or rural apiary. Sell raw honey at the farmer's market at $15 to $20 a jar. Sell beeswax candles, lip balm, and salves on Etsy. Rent your hives out to local orchards and almond growers for pollination contracts at $200 to $500 a hive per season. The brand story sells itself. Bees, local terroir, the rooftop hive, over the bakery, the family farm. Customers pay a premium because they can taste the difference and they want to support the story. $500 to $5,000 covers the hives, the suits, the smoker, the extractor. Income runs $1,000 to $10,000 a month seasonally at scale. A small operator with 10 to 20 hives selling at the local farmers market and to 2 or 3 restaurants is comfortably making this work. The named operator is Bee-Built, an online apiary supply company. Beyond them, there are countless local beekeepers running profitable side operations from quarter-acre suburban lots. Item number 17 is the closing item for a reason. It is accessible. It is patient. It is alive. It compounds the way wealth itself compounds. Slowly, quietly, season by season. You can start it next weekend. So there you have it. 17 forgotten methods. 17 historic anchors. 17 modern grandchildren still running in 2026. Every method that built quiet American wealth 100 years ago still works today. Sometimes unchanged. Sometimes renamed. Never extinct. The wealth path was never about luck or timing or genius. It was about owning a small, specific, boring thing that solved a basic human need. And letting the math compound. Shelter, food, repair, storage, transportation, cleaning. Things that have to happen every week whether the stock market is up or down. The boring rich do not pick the trend. They pick the need. Now your turn. Reply below with the number 1 through 17 of the forgotten method you are most likely to revive. Whichever item gets the most replies, I am doing a full 30-minute deep dive on it next week. The pressure washing route, the boarding house, the egg micro farm, the ADU, the storage yard, the mobile van, the tax lien, the ATM route, the raw land, the cell tower, the fabrication shop, the soap brand, the supplement brand, the watchmaker, the whatnot reseller, the cobbler, the beekeeper. Drop a number. The most popular reply gets the next 30-minute video. I am reading every single comment. Until then, keep stacking the quiet wins and remember, the boring path is still open. Always has been. Always will be.